Let's now talk about alerts, toasts, popovers, action sheets, and loading. You're saying yada, yada, yada. Why all of these together? The reason is because all of them have something in common. All of them are displayed on top of the current view. So they appear on top of the current view and can be dismissed from top of the current view. That's the reason why I'm talking about all of these together in one unit. So in this lesson, we will talk about all these, and then in the exercise, we will make use of some of these in the Ionic application that we have been building so far. So why do we talk about all of these in one unit together? One of the main reasons is because all of them have something in common, and all of them are going to be displayed on top of the current view, as you will see in the examples that we deal with a little bit later. And all of these components provide a way of showing and hiding the view from our Ionic application. So you need methods to be able to do all these. And also, some of these will have a way of allowing interaction with that component. An alert, for example, can contain buttons. An action sheet can contain buttons. Toasts are usually just display of information. Loading is also of a similar kind. The reason why we are discussing them together is because they all have a common API that is used in Ionic, and hence, when you know how to use one, you will more or less get the sense of how to make use of another one. Of course, each has its own idiosyncrasies that you need to deal with, but in general, the similarities are more than the differences. Let's look at some examples. Going to our application in the browser, we'll look at some examples which we will be doing as part of the next exercise and also the assignment at the end of this module. So if you go to the application and then go to the menu and then go into the view of a specific dish, you will notice that when you click on the button at the right corner, you will have a action sheet pop up on top of the screen. So as you see, this covers the current view in this example. Similarly, if you go to, let me add in an item to my favorites. So when I add an item to my favorites, you will see that a toast pops up on the screen, temporarily displaying a message and then dismisses itself after the message is displayed. Now, going to the My Favorites, you will see that when the My Favorites is shown, and we have already seen the use of the advanced lists with the option buttons. So when you click on a button like this, you will immediately see an alert pop up on the screen. So in this case, you see that this alert supports two buttons, a cancel and a delete button. When you click on the cancel, the action will be canceled. When you click on the delete, the deletion of this item from the My Favorites will proceed forward. So let's go ahead and delete the item. Once you delete the item, you see a loading message pop up on the screen, and then you also see a toast message pop up at the bottom of the screen. These are various ways that you can make use of alerts, toasts, popovers, action sheets, and loading messages in your Ionic application. So you're using them to keep the user informed about something that is going on. Then obviously you're going to ask me the question, how about a modal? Isn't a modal also something that covers the screen and so on? If you look at it, a modal also has similar behavior to these things, and a modal will also support similar kind of API, but a modal is so special, so that's why I dealt with it separately, because it serves a much higher purpose in our Ionic application, like supporting forms and so on. The other components that we have seen, the action sheets and alerts and so on, they are more targeted in their use, and hence I thought I will group them together and we'll deal with modals separately. That's the reason why I have talked about each of these separately. But a modal also has behaviors that are very similar to the remaining components that we have just talked about. So How does the API for all these various components look like? You would find that most of the APIs, the way you make use of these components is very similar in nature. You will see that all of them require you to import a corresponding controller into your application from Ionic Angular, and thereafter most of these will on the controller they will support methods like create, which allows you to create this component, and then when you are ready to display the component on the view, you will call the present method on the created component, and the component will be displayed on the view. And typically, they will also support a dismiss method, whereby calling that will dismiss the component's view from the screen. So you would see this common API supported by all these various components that we have just reviewed. So with this quick understanding, let's move on to the exercise where we will employ some of these. In particular, we'll look at the use of alerts, we'll look at the use of toasts, and we'll look at the use of the loading message in this exercise. You will deal with action sheets in the assignment. Popovers I am not explicitly using in this course, but popovers have similar functionality to the remaining ones, and if you find a use case for them, by all means, make use of popovers too within your Ionic application.